Security. Director of Defense Media Operations has disclosed that troops have killed at least 16 terror kingpins in operations across the country. Major General Edward Buba insists the military will continue to act with the relevant level of force required to dismantle terror groups. Sifon Isien reports.
Security challenges in the country have taken different turns in the last month. The rescue of 20 medical students and 7 others in Benue State is a morale booster for security forces. Military troops took out 16 terror kingpins and 419 others.
Troops neutralized 419 terrorists across all theaters of operations. They arrested 767 suspects while rescuing 448 kidnapped hostages.
But the recent killing of a traditional leader of Gobir in Sokoto State is an indication that the threats are evolving.
When I watched that video, I was moved. And I wish all Nigerians would be moved to taking the bull by the horn as we go against this terrorist. How many are they compared to us? If it's bullets that they have, how many do they have compared to what we have? I repeat it again. Winning this war is not just about the military, our equipment or finances. It largely depends on the people.
Security forces are on high alert to forestall any breach in security, especially around their formations. Sifon Isien, TVC News, Abuja.
And talking about the environment, the Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives is worried about the worsening effects of climate change on the farmer-herder clashes in the country. Abbas Tajuddin bared his mind at a forum to address the impact of climate change on farmer-herder clashes put together by the House Committee on Environment. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
Insecurity remains a talking point in Africa's most populous country, Nigeria. Statistics from the International Crisis Group says there were over 1,800 deaths and 2.5 million people displaced between 2013 and 2022. Behind the Valley is a documentary showcasing the story of the farmer-herder conflicts and the role of climate change. The Committee on Environment convenes this expertise conference to seek lasting solutions to a crisis that has led to wanton loss of lives and property and has displaced thousands of citizens from their ancestral homes. It calls for collaborative efforts.
We have designed this initiative to address the problem of affordable green housing for displaced persons, restoration of degraded farm and grazing lands, training and capacity building, resource and water management, renewable energy integration, and peace building through dialogue and mediation.
The Speaker believes addressing the challenge requires getting rid of outdated herding and farming methods for global trends such as ranching in the face of worsening climate change.
In search of greener pastures, herders have continued to migrate to farming communities. Given the trend, without regulation, there is bound to be clashes and crisis indeed. We are already there.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and ministers at the event say the world has awakened to the rude reality of the grave impact of climate change on humanity. They say desert encroachment is no longer a myth.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is one of such world leaders who has expressed very strong desire to reducing extreme poverty among the citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We have a responsibility to ensure that we save our natural resources. We do not waste resources, because all these, one way or the other, contribute to the climate change that we are witnessing.
The communique at the end of the conference is expected to be communicated to the appropriate government quarters as part of Parliament's efforts at seeking an end to the trauma of farmer-herder clashes across the country.
Benue, where the state government has inaugurated a technical working committee to develop a climate change policy that will protect the environment and effectively mitigate risks and adaptation to the unavoidable impacts of climate change. The Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Climate Change, Odo Ogu, spoke during the inauguration in Makurdi, the state capital. Maya Wakwato reports.
Nomadic and semi-nomadic herders have a long history of migrating and also building relationships with various sedentary farming populations, sometimes leading to conflicts over shared natural renewable resources, namely fresh water and land. These Benue states can relate to. These activities aggravate land degradation and increase the frequency of droughts and consequently lead to declining food production. This gathering, which is put together by the Benue State government in conjunction with WEP, is to develop a policy document on climate change that will guide the state on actions to mitigate risks and adapt to unavoidable impacts.
Climate change is not a distant threat. It is a reality that we are already experiencing. We must act swiftly and decisively to mitigate its effect by developing a robust climate change policy. We can protect our natural resources and ensure a sustainable future for our children and generations to come.
We're picking out key priority areas of the states, and these key priority areas will also focus on the vulnerabilities, which area needs more attention.
It's day 2 of the Inception workshop and stakeholders consultation geared towards domesticating the national climate change policy, with critical stakeholders optimistic of a resilient framework to sufficiently combat climate change threats.
We must develop comprehensive and coordinated strategies to mitigate the effects of climate change, build resilience within our communities, and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come.
Crises are not just about herders versus farmers crisis. It is as a result of climate change, which is being induced by conflict. And so the first thing that we're trying to do, the Benue State government had not a policy before on climate change.
Following this inauguration, it's expected that in the next weeks, the Technical Working Committee will come out with a document on climate change that will stand the test of time. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makurdi.
Let's now turn attention to Kebbi, where the state governor, Nasir Idris, under the NG Care program, has disbursed livelihood support grants to 65,000 beneficiaries in collaboration with the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning in the state. The program, designed to mitigate the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hawa Mohammed reports.
Abba Kalgu, Commissioner, Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, and Chairman, State Care Steering Committee, delivered a speech about promises made by Governor Nasir Idris in January about the disbursement of 6.5 billion naira to beneficiaries, which has been actualized under the KBK Initiative Program. Abba Sani Kalgu praised Governor Nasir Idris for his efforts to improve the livelihood of the communities and the common man in the society.
The CARES program is also in the process of selection of beneficiaries for the cash transfer program, where another 5,850 beneficiaries will receive the sum of 10,000 naira each for 12 months. He is the program's biggest champion, and by extension, the people's biggest champion. And I have no doubt that history will acknowledge the role that His Excellency has played in all the efforts towards poverty eradication in Kebbi State.
Rukaiya Bawa, Kebbi State Program Coordinator of the NG Care Program, delivered a goodwill message on behalf of the initiative, highlighting the achievements recorded in 1 year under Governor Nasir Idris' administration.
As we continue with this program, we remain committed to ensuring that the resources provided reach those who need them most, and that the impact is both far-reaching and long-lasting. We are focused on delivering the objectives of NG Cares, which is to build resilience, improve livelihoods, and ensure that every citizen of Kebbi State has access to opportunities for a better life.
In his address, Governor Nasser Idris emphasized the importance of supporting vulnerable individuals and small businesses in the state. He highlighted that the program's objectives is aimed at providing livelihood support to affected individuals and households, stimulating economic growth and recovery in the state, and enhancing the resilience of Kebbi State economy.
This makes the Handicare program a vital avenue and one of the driving components which will effectively detach people from poverty. Let me reiterate that the Kebbi State program is a loan to the state government, approved by the House of Assembly as part of our 2024 spending plan.
Beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to the Kebbi State government for the timely intervention.
Mun gode kwarai bisa ga wannan tallafi da aka ba mu, Allah ya saka da alheri. Domin na farin ciki gaskiya sosai da aka bani waɗannan. Allah ya sa albarka, ya sa